All right, we're live. Let's give a few people some time to check on in here. Um, if you were on Twitter, feel free to retweet this link that I'm dropping in the chat right now. Really good victory for Milan today. After this 3-1 trouncing of Roma. Not really that close the entire match. I think the way that Roma were playing in this one, it was very happy that they were just able to get that one goal, and that obviously comes from a terrible concession from Calabria. I mean, just having the lack of awareness in that situation to just foul was just really putrid. We'll get into all this stuff right now. George is in here. CJ, what do you got? Yacine masterclass. Yeah, absolutely. We'll get into everything. We'll try and go man of the match. We'll go through chronological order of everything that transpired this afternoon with Milan and Roma. Obviously, Milan winning once again this season. They complete the sweep over Roma, a 5-2 goal differential. Roma just, I can't even remember the last time they beat Milan. Just been utter domination, especially since post-COVID. And Milan continue that starting off into the new year at San Siro. Just really positive vibes as far as Serie A goes, and making it back into the Champions League next year. Obviously, Inter rarely going to be dropping points this season. I think we all need to come to grips with that. But if we look at the table right now, 8 points clear of fourth place Fiorentina, who drew earlier today. And hello to everybody checking in. Anthony's here. Sabrina is here. Diego just hopped in as well. So that was really nice to see. Lazio, again, 9 points off of us. Same amount of matches played. Bologna, 10 points. Napoli, 11 points. Atalanta are 12, but a game in hand. Roma, 13 points off now. I mean, there's just so much positivity when you want to talk about making it into that next phase of the Champions League, or sorry, to get back into the Champions League next year. If you want to look at positive vibes, today was absolutely one of those. So if we look here, Yacine Adli's first goal with Milan. This is something that I want to discuss. I think I absolutely adore this player. That has been no secret, especially to quite a few people. I think Santangelo and I have talked about him at length over the past few years ourselves. And pretty much a lot of people within Milan's community and fan base have been longing to see this player get a consistent shout. And again, this goal was fantastic. I thought he was really strong and positive today in terms of just having the overall ability to not necessarily dictate the tempo of the match, but to really put in a strong performance where you didn't really have to worry too much about his defensive mistakes. Almost every single pass was a positive and progressive one. And listen, if you go by FootMob, guys, he got man of the match. We'll get the man of the match thing going in a second. I think Loftus-Cheek and Calabria are probably the weakest. I would probably go with Calabria. Leao, I thought, put in a pretty decent shift, created a nice chance. Pulisic did very well today as well. I mean, Giroud. I mean, that assist with the nutmeg on the back heel was just a 10 out of 10. And then just to have that rocket of a finish from Teo Hernandez as well. Whew. But again, Yacine Adli, we'll go through some of the statistics here. 92% on accurate passes, 2 chances created. Obviously, the shot on target, the finish was cool, calm, and collected. As we all know, that fake was fantastic. Cut it back just a little bit. Finish into the bottom right corner. Just everything that you would want from a player within that situation. Absolutely hats off to him. Winning his ground duels defensively, 3 out of 3 tackles, 2 clearances, 2 interceptions, 5 recoveries. So many different things within this performance from a player who is still relatively young at just the age of 23. His first full flight season in Serie A where he's getting consistent minutes. You have to be happy with what you're seeing there. Again, I'll head on over to YouTube side of things real quick. Just want to meet the site here. Again, those of you who are tuning in, thank you so much. Please like it up. Let's get over 10 likes. There's only 24 of you as of right now. Again, greatly appreciated for every single one of you that drops in here. So let's get a man in the match poll started up as usual while we go through everything else in the entire match. So we'll put Adli, Giroud, we'll go Teo. Teo, right? And then I think Magnan deserves a shout as the fourth one. So we will go there with these top four players for today's match. I think Tijani Reinders, by the way, another fantastic performance. Talk about being all over the pitch, doing everything that you want in a midfielder with his skill set. Obviously, the finish could be lacking, but 3 goals for Milan. Only conceded goal coming from a penalty that should have never have happened. Um, my goodness. So yeah, again, guys, if you haven't or if you're new to the channel, That Milan Podcast, follow us on Twitter as well at That Milan Pod, Apple, Spotify, audio to listen to everything. Again, with the channel as well, we have the full podcast and you can listen to those and watch them as well as other videos that we put up in short clips. But just to talk about Yacine Adli once again, this is the type of goal that really pushes him further. You see the type of emotion that's just on his face after scoring that. It's not only his first goal for Milan, he gets this at San Siro. You saw him earlier this season where he got that opportunity when Rade Krunic got hurt. You saw the amount of emotion that he had towards the fans. You know how he loves to sing some of the songs that the Curva Sud always chant during the match. Just to have that moment for him, for someone who clearly adores the club so much, is a real positive to have. Especially with this situation where you don't necessarily play for an entire year. You don't know what your future is like. And all of a sudden the manager says he has a role for you. He came in prepared. He came in playing consistent when he's gotten his opportunities. Obviously, hasn't played as much as we would have liked in recent weeks, especially since Benacer has returned. But Yacine Adli, shout out to you. Congratulations on your first ever goal. And you have surpassed Charles de Ketelare in the all-time scoring Milan list. And so with that, we can move on to the next set here. As everybody else is in here, hello to everyone else. I'm just making note of some stuff so we can get some notes in real quick. But again, guys, leave us your thoughts here in the comments section. Hey, Old Heart Rossonero. Yes, young Milan. Guys, go and subscribe to Old Heart if you haven't already appeared on the channel. I'm trying to get him on in the future as well. So yeah, fantastic YouTube channel. Milan Lab is great. Milan Weekly podcast with Milan Coast to Coast, obviously. Kush is a great channel to go and follow as well. Probably Geronimo, obviously, sempremilan.com. If you guys don't know, the podcast to watch. Reinders man of the season. He has passion and cares for the club. Hey, Brad. Calabria played well, but the penalty, I don't know. Calabria had some good moments, yeah. I think the penalty ultimately cost him. Not the end of the world, but, you know, yeah. I mean, I don't mean to take shots at CDK, but statistics are statistics. Am I wrong? You know, we see him pass him on the all-time list. Luka Jovic has surpassed him on the all-time list. Noah Okafor, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We can go on and on about the amount of players who have surpassed CDK on the all-time Milan scoring list. Working from home today on a Sunday. Yes, welcome result for you. Hope you're enjoying this very nice Sunday. Very cold in a lot of parts of the U.S. So if you're in the U.S., please stay safe, guys. Stay inside if you need to or if you have to. But again, with the second goal of this, with Kier's assist was fantastic, but the Adli pre-assist, Milan looked very sharp on set pieces now. We knew that was sort of lacking a little bit last year. Adli is such a great technical player that he steps up in instances like this. You see it once again in Giroud with the nose for goal. I'm really, really proud of how Olivier is playing with this. You see how impactful he could be when he gets the proper rest. I think the rotation of him and Luka Jovic in between certain matches, especially with Coppa Italia, is the main reason why we're seeing sort of a refresh Giroud for the second half of this season. I think it's going to play a key role in Milan trying to get a little bit closer to second place. We'll see how Juve play on Tuesday against Sassuolo. I don't anticipate Juve dropping points that often, but if Milan can get within striking distance, at least pick up 2 more points against them, I'd be very happy about that. And so again, just having the goals here on the bottom, just getting your thoughts on how we played today. Happy for Gabbia performance. I think Gabbia, with him, there was 1 or 2 instances where you're very scared in watching the way he's completing some of these passes outside the back. I think he turned it over within the first half. It was very shaky. Again, physically not the most imposing of players, very obviously. So that matchup against Lukaku worried me very much heading into this one. But again, we see Milan once again handling adversity as best you can Roma looked better towards the second half. There was a Roma fan on Twitter saying that Roma outplayed Milan in that first half. So really don't understand or agree with any of that. Again, I just find all of that stuff pretty damn funny at the end of the day. So again, I do want to pull up a couple of things. I think Sant'Angelo might be able to hop on in. Able to join. We're gonna send out a message to him. Kier Basalic today. Do I think he deserves this? No, I don't. I don't. I love Simon Kier. Everything. I love everything that he has brought to the club, but that ain't the same player. Santangelo unfortunately cannot make it. He is enjoying football. He's away for the weekend, so we'll let him enjoy that. We can check in on the poll right now. Yacine Adli ascending 59%, Giroud 15%, Teo 21%. Not many people going in for Magnan. So again, I just want to pull up the picture of Yacine Adli and the pure emotion on his face after scoring this one here, and we'll tune in right now. So look at Yacine Adli. You could just see it on his face what this means to him, putting up the heart symbol. Really just fantastic. It's just a great moment for a player like that. When you follow the club as closely as many of you do, you start to get a rooting interest in some of these younger players, and especially with the way Milan are trying to build up this club at this moment in time. It involves a lot of young and talented players like Yacine Adli. But to just see him seize that opportunity, I think it's just a great lesson overall to many people, young and old. Be ready, be ready and hungry for your opportunity, because you never know when it could come. And Yacine Adli very much deserved. Once again, I know we're just praising him constantly, but again today, really hard not to. One of the negatives that happened almost 10 minutes or so after that, I think it was 7 to 8 minutes. Davide Calabria conceding the penalty. Listen, you can't just make that foul. It's very lazy, gamblish, where you're just sticking your foot out there, hoping to get the ball before the defender, the offensive player. For Calabria at that moment in time, it's on the edge of the box. Really not a good area to concede that. Paredes smashes home the penalty. Past Magnan, he went right down the middle. Again, sometimes you just make silly mistakes, and Milan are prone to making individual errors on a consistent basis. This is ultimately what has haunted them. I think if they do face a better team today, they probably end up drawing. This was not a great sort of match defensively for Milan, but as we know, when we have this makeshift defense, you're going to be getting chances like that sneaking by them. We saw that cost them in the Coppa Italia against Atalanta. Again, Olivier Giroud. I mean, this guy aging like a fine wine. With this assist, you see the back heel nutmeg to go to Teo Hernandez, who shoots an absolute fucking rocket of a shot towards goal. Lasering that in is just absolutely fantastic. And sorry for the F-bomb there. It just passed and occurred to me in my mind that Sabrina's son is probably watching or in the area. Totally apologize for that, but I have no other way to describe that chance. And that also goes for everyone else if you have family around listening. Apologies, my bad. Happy Sunday. But good Lord, just the absolute play with this was just so bad. Okay, so Joel has a disagreement here. Calabria just went for the ball, but Pellegrini. Well, it's a silly challenge, man. You have to blame Calabria in that situation. It doesn't matter if Pellegrini's great or not. He's going in for a stab where the timing has to be absolutely perfect, and you don't take those risks coming in late in the penalty area. That's why I think it was a really poor play for him. Kalulu or Tomori, I think Kalulu is the closer of the two returning Familia homes. Do you reckon top three will change? The only thing I see changing possibly within the top three at this point is if Juve and Milan interchange. That's about it. And even then, I really kind of have a hard time seeing Milan closing the gap. 7 points is a healthy lead, especially for Allegri within Serie A. I don't see how Milan catch up to Inter. There's no way Inter are going to drop this many points in the second half of the season. It has to be a devastating injury to Inter, whereas Thuram or Lautaro Martinez for an extended period of time. Otherwise, I don't see how this happens. Even then, I think they're just playing way too well at this moment in time. Again, Calabria can't make that challenge there. Definitely a bad choice. It was intricate. How many times do we see this guy do the flat back heels and they never work out? Um, I don't see it happen that often. But the layoff to him was just fantastic. You really can't ask for much more, guys. And again, just super happy with how this happened in a packed San Siro as well. So when we look ahead to Milan's schedule for the rest of the season, we can go and pull this up real quick while we get a couple more comments in as well. So go ahead, guys. Comment. I'll try and bring them up on stream while I'm also bringing up Milan's schedule for the future. I think Udinese is next. Obviously, no Coppa Italia. So, heading over to the fixtures now. This is where it's not getting dicey, but this is not the easiest of schedules. Damn, really have to zoom in for this. So, anyways, we have Milan Bologna after Udinese. Bologna are hitting a rough patch of form, so pretty good time to play them. Udinese obviously picked up a victory earlier today. Or actually, sorry, they drew against Fiorentina. Not as poor as they were to start the season, but again, Milan, of course, losing to them to give them their first victory. Frosinone, Napoli, and then we're looking at the 15th where we play Europa League. So that's when the schedule starts to pick up a little bit. Again, not that difficult over the course of this season. April is the true test for Milan in terms of, I guess, wanting to jump, and we'll see where they are in the race at that point. I don't envision them being that close. But when you have Juve and Inter back-to-back, Sassuolo, annoying team, Lecce, a side that Milan has struggled with at times. But again, this is a little bit of a softer patch in their schedule. Milan need to really take advantage of these points and see out these next two games. You're only playing once a week from here on out. 6 days until the next match against Udinese on Saturday, and then you play another Saturday match on the 27th. Really just once a week for Milan right now. This is very different from what we saw last year in the second half of the season because of the World Cup. And you're also going to see a lot more fresh Milan because they're not deeper into Coppa Italia like they were. Actually, they weren't even deep in Coppa Italia last year because they lost to Torino. But in recent years, again, we'll have some time for Milan to advance with that. But again, overall, good win today. Can't complain too much when it comes to this kind of stuff. Musa as a right wing. Well, here's the thing. Luca Romero going out on loan as a right winger to Como and Cesc Fabregas is one of the reasons why there was no replacement on the right wing. And Samuel Chukwueze in Nigeria drew today against Guinea in the AFCON. So there are no real options at right wing. So that's the next best option is Yunus Musa. I think that's the main reason as to why he was playing today. We shall see if Hugo Cuenca will eventually get some minutes. I believe that is something that we should anticipate. He got injured today in the Primavera match. Not sure what the outlook is regarding that injury. But yeah. So again, that's what Milan look like the next coming weeks. Any other stuff that we want to bring up and talk about? As far as business goes, I saw comments about it. Listen, I can also pull up what Milan have in terms of potential deals. I think this is a very important one to pick up. Where are we, sirs, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to present this real quick. Oops. Well, Fabregas is the director. Fabregas is the one that wants the guy over there. He's the one negotiating with Como. So again, anyways, Genoa triggered the clause for the Messias. That's $3 million right there. Di Marzio said that was the total fee agreed upon. So they paid €1.5 million up front, and then they just completed the second half of that deal. Obviously, with the sale of Dragusin, Genoa got a little bit more money for there. $5 million for Rade Krunic. Fenerbahce just can't get relegated. So that's $8 million right there. And if we go further down into the deal, option for Alexis Salamakers is set for €10 million. We'll see how Bologna does their business. Does Goodmanson and Xerxes get sold? That could fund their market for the summer. Alexis Salamakers, I don't see the deal being finalized for $10 million. I think it's going to be a fee for less than that. CDK, however, $26 million flat. Okay, so if the trigger is if the clause is triggered by Atalanta. It'll be 26 million in total. They paid a small fee up front. He is producing for them, growing as the season goes along. So that's 26 million, 4 million more in potential bonuses with the 10% resale percentage. So that could go up even higher than that. Possibly best case scenario for Milan, if they get rid of these four players, would be around 48 million euro. Make top four once again. You got some coin there to play with in the coming summer. So we'll see how Milan are going to be able to operate for business like that. Not sure how much we'll see this coming January. Popovic doesn't look like he is going to get over the line. He was still in Milan. There's rumors that his agent want 2 million euro in commission. Really not something that I think Milan should be interested in if they're trying to demand an absurd price like that. And on top of it, Terracciano came in. So getting him for a few million from Verona was a very opportunistic deal because of their financial struggles. It's a young Italian player. We'll see what happens. There's been potentially more contacts for Buongiorno out of Torino. We know Gianluca Di Marzio has been reporting that. Cairo went on the record saying he doesn't want to sell him, and Buongiorno doesn't want to leave as well. So I don't foresee that coming as well. Origi is not a finalized deal. He was on loan. There were talks about sending him back to us. That's not going to happen, though, because the club does not want to take him. Would sit well with me as well. I agree with you. And that was kind of the point that I kind of wanted to get to. That's a decent amount of coin that you're playing with there, and we'll see how Milan do in terms of Europa League as well. And when you generate more money over the course of the season, when you're turning a profit like that, we don't even know what the financial year entails when we're talking about sales of Christian Pulisic. We see more Rafael Leao number 10 kits being sold as well. There's so many different things that factor into Milan here. So again, 85 million is plenty. I will say this, and I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I want Milan to do business in the sense of let's get 2 to 3 really big players in here, big time players that you could put into the starting 11 that are guaranteed stars or can develop their play in this league at a top level. To me, you go either at the regista position or maybe someone around the 20 million range where Samuele Ricci out of Torino could be there. Again, I think you also have to consider getting a center back for the future. I think there's no denying that. I love Chow. I like Tomori. I do like Kalulu. Kalulu is a possible player that might be sold this coming summer. And again, striker. Have to pay up for the striker. Break your record transfer fee for a guy that you think can lead this line for the next 5 years at least, right? We don't know what the future entails, but there has to be something where you break your record for a player that is superb in terms of talent that could guarantee you 15 open play goals, okay? Can run him behind the defense. I love Giroud. Jovic has been serviceable. Camarda is still years away. Colombo hasn't proven himself enough. We have to get a guy. We have to. There's no doubt about it. Kier, I think, is on his final legs here at Milan. Again, good for some of these players for sort of producing at this point. Yeah. So again, with Milan right now, this was a great victory. You love to see this happen. As far as other things go, I will be looking to go live next week if I don't have work. So if that is a potential scenario for me, I will be going live for that. Hopefully, we can get Santangelo on as well. That would be greatly appreciated to see our guy again. Wednesday, we're hoping to go live and record a podcast episode so we could all finally just get a nice pre-recording, sit down and talk things regarding Milan. Again, that was a good 26-minute rant, no breaks, just one water break, if anything. We appreciate all of you tuning in all the time. Again, not going that long for this when I'm solo, or close to 30 minutes is kind of what I was hoping for. Again, by the way, guys, I know if you're not huge bettors, I feel sick to my stomach for what I did. Ugh, where is it? Oh, I deleted it. But anyways, I had a plus 1,000 bet where I had Giroud goal score, Milan win, Mbappe goal score, PSG win. That was at plus 1,060. Didn't think Mbappe would get the goal. Sick to my stomach. Oh, well. Anyways, appreciate you guys so much. And once again, we'll talk to you guys soon. If you guys missed most of the stream, just go back to the very beginning of it. And yeah, we'll talk next time. Take care, everybody.